Thank you for being here. I'm Nate Eaton, and today we have Karla LaOrange here in our studio. She is the superintendent for Idaho Falls School District 91. I almost said the new superintendent. You technically are new.
I am new.
Right?
I started July 1st.
Okay, so 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah.
And what have you thought?
You know, what I love about District 91 and Idaho Falls is the supportive community that we have, how dedicated and passionate people are about education, and our incredible teachers and staff that serve our students. It's honestly been so fun because I get to meet a lot of new people and see their passion to serving our students, and it's so rewarding to be part of this work.
Give us a little bit of your background.
I moved to Idaho Falls when I was in elementary school and graduated from Idaho Falls High School. I returned here after college, and I actually student taught in Idaho Falls School District. I was a teacher, an assistant principal, a principal, worked at the district office. Then I went to BYU, Idaho for about 10 years, 11 years. And then I had this wonderful opportunity to come back to the district and be part of this tremendous work again.
You went there meaning you were teaching there, not going
Yes.
as a student.
No, you're
Yeah,
right. No,
yeah.
I didn't go as a student. I had the opportunity to teach future teachers. And that was fun. I got to see education from a different viewpoint and really work with a lot of people at the state level, which has been a tremendous advantage for me as I've returned to District 91.
So some people might see, you know, coming in to your position 5 or 6 months ago, like, okay, why would I go there? They've tried to pass a bond 3 or 4 times. The district is really growing in a lot of areas. The previous superintendent was only here for a short amount of time. What made you decide to throw your name in?
Really, it's those deep roots here in Idaho Falls and just a driving passion that I think working with the teachers and the community. I really want community engagement, that as we work together, there is such a desire to help our students learn. And we have a great school board too. They're very committed to our students. And when you put all that together with this great community, great school board, and incredible teachers, this is like, I don't know, the dream of a lifetime to be able to step into this. And the bond is a challenge. It is, and it's one that I'm sure we'll be tackling again down the road. There's some challenges there. There's a lot of misunderstanding about bonds in some cases, but also just the challenge of financing schools. But I really believe that working together as a community, we can provide the facilities that our students need. Will it be a challenge? For sure.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about that challenge. I mentioned, you know, they've failed the bond 3 or 4 times, the bigger bonds that have come for the new high school and some of the elementaries. But you were able to get a facilities levy passed, a plant facilities levy for $33 million. Those you need not as much approval from the voters. I think it's 55% versus 66.6. But then the tax commission came forward and said, okay, it's not valid. So I believe we're still waiting to see how the courts are going to rule. Is that the next step?
Yes. What the law says is that a district can have one levy fund. And so we have one fund. We have 2 plant facility levies, one for our new school, one that we've used for maintenance of schools, and they go into one fund. And that's the interpretation of the district and our legal counsel. The tax commission decided to challenge that, and we're disappointed that they acknowledged at the beginning of August that they would not recognize our levy. So our board, I believe, stood up in courage, and for the patrons, I mean, we passed with almost 70% approval, and we needed 55, but we had 70. So clearly we have a mandate from our community, and the board is stepping out in courage to carry that out. And this is a question that only the courts can decide. So we're very hopeful that we'll prevail, and we believe this is the right work to support our students and our growing community on the south side of town. So,
and what would, if the court okays it and says it is valid, what will this money pay for?
So this money would pay for a new elementary school on the south side of town. We have a lot of development going on there. It would be, right now we are in the process, we have an architect We'll be using a similar plan or the same plan as we have at Longfellow, Door Erickson, Ethel Boyce, and Edgemont, or a slight variation of that school. That's a cost savings for us. And right now we're in the process of hiring construction management so that they can work with the architects to design the school so that we don't have a lot of additional expenses. It saves us money. We avoid change orders and it saves us some money. And then we would build that school if we're able to prevail in court.
So what about the growth elsewhere? How do you handle the aging high school and the growing areas? What's the next steps?
Yeah, and really that final decision will be up to our board to tackle and decide if we're going to run another bond and whether we would renovate Idaho Falls or build a new high school. But clearly, we need to address our facilities, and we will need the community to do that. So the board, I am sure, will be making that determination probably next school year, and then we'll execute that plan, and we'll bring the question to the voters and be asking for their support. Idaho Falls High School has tremendous tradition behind it, and we want to continue that legacy, but it's also a facility that is aging and needs some help. And we have a couple of other areas where we have growing populations. So again, that's a question for the board, but we'll be trying to address those issues on the west side where we see some growth as well.
What is your desire? Let's say the board, says, Superintendent, we're going to defer to you, or you didn't need the board's approval. Would you build a new high school and turn the old high school into a middle school? What would your thought be?
That's a hard question for me because I have seen schools that are older even than Idaho Falls High School in other states that have had the resources to maintain and upgrade the facility, and they've been done really well. A new high school, if we have a new high school, so here's the advantage of that. We have this new facility. We have the land for it. We already have the Tiger Athletic complex there, so they would already have their sports facilities ready. And then we could use Idaho Falls High School to grow our C-Tech program, our career technical program. It is such a strong program, and we also serve other communities like Ryrie and Shelley and Firth in our C-Tech program, which is downtown. But we're constrained by that building. And if we could move that to Idaho Falls High School and really open up those opportunities to learn for our students and learn things that can take them straight into a career, there's a high demand, and that would allow us to continue offering bigger programs and serve more students while still upgrading Idaho Falls High School with a new school. So I think I would lean that way. I will follow whatever the board wants, but that is, I think, the best plan for our students, not just now, but carries them forward and opens up all these incredible pathways for career and post-high school opportunities. And that's really what we want. We want our students to thrive and to grow.
Yeah. All right, another issue that's been in the news lately, kind of related to the bond. The former bond is the fine, or I guess the civil complaint that the district, two employees of the district got, Dr. Shank, who's no longer here, and then Margaret Wimborne, $375 total. Some of the talk lately has been, why didn't the district just pay it? The allegations are that the employees inappropriately used taxpayer funds to promote the bond. And why didn't the district just pay the $375 rather than paying the legal fees?
Well, the original complaint that I saw wasn't that amount of money. One of the fines was $1,500. Okay. So it's a little more money. But the reason that the board decided to stand up, and I support that decision, is it's akin to getting a speeding ticket or not speeding and getting cited and saying, well, I'll just pay it anyway. When nothing has been done wrong, what we do in America is that we stand up. That is what we do. We say we need to take this to court and have it evaluated more closely, the facts. Jim and Margaret both acted according to legal counsel. And really the crux of this case comes down to, was there misinformation? And the wording that is being cited is that we said our buildings were aging or aged, that we had overcrowding issues. Those are facts. We are not trying to sway voters by providing that information. So I think this is the right thing to do because we do have facility needs, but also our employees didn't do anything wrong. This is a complaint that really wasn't necessary. In Ada County, something similar happened. There was the prosecutor's office had a question about some campaign material. They met with the district, they talked through it, and were able to resolve any concerns and develop an understanding. That didn't happen here. It wasn't necessary. I have to believe that there are more important things that would need to be challenged here. And we will defend our employees, especially when they have not done anything wrong or whenever they haven't done anything wrong. We will defend them. It's the right thing to do.
What do you foresee the biggest challenge in the district looking forward the next 3 to 5 years?
So facilities are clearly one of our biggest challenges. You know, we do have buildings that are aging and we do have overcrowding, and so we need to address those. We need to work with the community to help come up with solutions for that and get their ideas. So community engagement will be a big piece of that. It's also helping our students post-secondary, making sure that the programs that we offer and the things that we do help our students who want to go to college, but also help our students who are interested in careers, and that we have really good, solid teaching and learning going on in every classroom. And that work is really exciting. The facilities are too. We can do great things for our students.
Any ideas that you hope to implement here in the next year or so yourself? Like, I'd really want to do this or that.
Oh, we have several things that we want to do. So we are starting a committee. We've been working with our teachers, and we're starting a committee to look at how we can provide more support to students to help them perform at higher levels and serve students who maybe are second language learners or have a learning disability or other challenges, help them learn at higher levels, help them stay in school. And we have a committee that will be working through that. We're going to be pretty aggressive on this and be coming to the board with a proposal in February. We also, community engagement and parent involvement is really important to me. It's a very high priority. So we are starting school level advisory councils. They will include parents and a patron. We're defining a patron as someone who lives in a school's boundary but has no children enrolled in any school in Idaho Falls. So someone who either doesn't have children or whose children have graduated and they're an empty nester. I think those are populations that have a lot to offer and are often overlooked. So they will also be on those school advisory councils. And then we're going to bring all of those school councils together in the spring, and they will be working together to give the board input. And I'm sure one of the questions the board will want input on is Idaho Falls High School, what we need to do to pass a bond and identifying the needs that they see in the community. That will drive our work. And I think it gives us a deeper partnership. It's more than little cottage meetings and sharing information. It really creates two-way dialogue where they will be deeply involved in helping us plan and move our work forward. And that's really exciting to me. We also want to expand our CTEC program, our career technical program. There are some challenges there because we need to grow beyond the facility we have, which is very nice, but we need to be able to offer more to our students. So how to grow that program and also offer a little more career technical in 7th grade, 8th grade in there. And probably down the road a little bit also looking at Compass Academy. It's our magnet school. Right. And I think our middle school students could really benefit from having an option like that for them as well, for our students who like project-based learning and like to work with others in their learning. So those are some of the things that we have going. I think those are all exciting. I love that they are student-centered and community involved, and that's really what we're about.
We probably get 2 or 3 calls every week from a parent, not just in Idaho Falls, but across eastern Idaho, who has a child who's being bullied. How do you plan to address this issue or help solve this issue or reduce this issue? I know, you can't control other people's kids, right. But there are some kids that are afraid to go to school. They're afraid they'll get beat up or that they'll get bullied.
Yeah, and bullying is a challenge nationwide, and it is a hard question. But we have to have a multi-pronged approach. So one of those, things that we're doing. We have a good curriculum that we use in our elementary schools, just talking about how we interact with each other. Also, what do we do when we start to feel angry, how to express those feelings. We have great counselors, both at the elementary level and the high school level. One of the things that I love in our schools are the Hope Squads. I don't know if you know what a Hope Squad is. The Hope Squads have been wonderful. They've invited me to their classrooms. I was at Eagle Rock last week, and they shared problems that they had identified and solutions that they had to those. I think getting our students involved in that, and also responding to those things. You know, the district has some great tools that allow students to report in a safe way using technology if they feel like they're being bullied. And our response to those is really high and pretty prompt. And so that allows students to report things if they don't feel like they can, and get some support. Bullying won't go away unless we know about it, and we have to confront it as well. And help the person who's doing the bullying understand that, one, it's not appropriate, and help them learn other behaviors. I want every child to feel safe when they come to school. That's a high priority for us. It's really our number one priority is school safety, and that includes bullying and coming to school and feeling emotionally supported and emotionally safe. So we're working hard to confront that. And really would encourage parents also to be, talk to their kids, and that we have to partner together on this. But we need to talk about that we don't say mean things to other people, and certainly exclude people is another way of bullying that isn't always as obvious. So it's a community effort, but we really have a lot of services wrapped around that in Idaho Falls, and we're working on it.
Is the district still facing a substitute teacher shortage or bus driver shortage? Have those been kind of fixed?
Substitute teachers, let's take each of those. Substitute teachers, we are still facing a challenge. You know, the unemployment rate is low. And whenever unemployment rate is low, substitute teaching pool is smaller. So we are facing that. Our teachers in our junior highs and high school, they will fill in for one class period when they have their planning time. They will give that up and fill in when they can, and I appreciate their support for that. Elementary schools, sometimes we end up with assistant principals filling in a classroom. We do our best to fill those, but it's definitely a challenge. Bus drivers, we've been able to keep up. We're always right on the edge there, but we've been able to keep up with our needs and keep our drivers. And I think we work really hard to let our drivers know they're appreciated and that they're a really important part of our work.
How about lunch ladies? You know, I
Oh,
worked in the
yeah.
lunchroom
Yes.
over at Fox Hollow Elementary. Are those positions good?
Yes, those
Okay.
positions we are good.
Great.
We have a great child nutrition staff, and we haven't had a shortage there. We haven't had quite the same challenges as we've had, particularly with substitutes. That's probably our most challenging, with bus drivers not too far behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, anything you want to add?
You know, I just want to add that I'm really excited. I feel very fortunate and humbled, honestly, to be part of this work. We do have a great community. The challenges are huge, but the work and the effort that I see and the goodness of people, I've had businesses come forward and offer to help in different ways, some monetarily, and sometimes those are small, but all of it adds up. And others who've come and offered to read to kids at school. And I just continue to be so grateful for that support. And I can't help but believe that working together, that we can confront the challenges in education, and I think we can overcome them, help our students learn at high levels, help them feel safe, because that is important, and help them move on and be successful in their lives. And that's really the joy of this work, is partnering with educators and parents to make that happen. I love being here in Idaho Falls. I feel really lucky.
I'd say welcome home, but you've been home. I guess welcome home to your new job.
Yes, welcome home to District 91.
District 91,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you very much. Karla
Thank
LaOrange,
you.
the new superintendent of Idaho Falls School District 91.